Hello everyone. My name is Gulham Saber and my student ID is 230363116. We are team of four members. We have worked on a research project which is case study of Boeing. My first slide is introduction and aims. Today, we are re-examining Boeing, a brand considered a benchmark in aerospace technology, and how internal choices turned into a global crisis. Our research looks closely at Boeing 737 MAX crashes, which killed 346 people. The tragedy was not only about faulty system; it was a result of poor leadership, cultural failure, and management under pressure. Actually, our aim is to explore why Boeing failed, how that affected shareholder, and what solution can lead to recovery the resilience. My second slide is objectives and stakeholder focus. Actually, the question arises as to why focus on shareholders. The answer is because they represent both financial interest and public accountability. After all, shareholders invest not just in products but in the people who run in companies. So, our key research goals are understanding understand Boeing internal failures, examine those failures damage reputation, finances, and long-term investor confidence, suggest concrete strategies for Boeing's leadership and governance going forward. My third slide is background. The crisis unfolds. Now I will talk about background. Could one faulty software rely cause two major crashes? That's the surface level view, but the truth runs deeper. In 2018 and 2019, two Boeing 737 MAX planes crashed within 5 months. Both crashes were linked to MCAS, a new software system that pushed aircraft's nose down. The real issue was pilots were not even trained on it properly. Investigations revealed that cost cutting rushed production and weak internal control allowed this to happen. Boeing's priority shifted away from engineering safety towards competing with Airbus. Actually, the decision cost lives reputation and uh, reputation and billions of dollars. Now I would like to invite my next mate who will present next part of our research. Thank you.
Hi, hello everyone. My name is Lijo Pulkitara George, and I will talking about the slide literature review. And research help us understanding the Boeing failure wasn't technical alone, but it was organizational. Let's explore what the literature tell us. The slide. There are some key points. The comms. He stressed that the transparency and speed in communications are essential during a crisis. Boeing delayed admitting faults, and its public relations made things worse. Test eroded rapidly. The next one is North House. Leadership needs to model ethical behavior, especially under pressure. Boeing stops management precisely share price and deadlines not safely. This kind of short-term thinking is unsustainable. And the next one is schemes. Culture isn't about slogans, it's about what's the rewards and what's ignored. Boeing's culture rewards speed and silence, even it meant overlooking safety checks. And the rest one is reasons. This model explains how many small failures, like holes in cheese slice, elegant to case disaster. MCS, poor training, ignored engineers, and regularly gaps all line up with the deadly result. And the next one is tank. When you outsource without proper control, you create hidden risks. Boeing supply chains become complex and fragile, reducing product reliability. And the next one is jealous. In his book Flying Blind, Gilles shows how Boeing silenced engineers, cut safety costs, and chased deadlines to meet Wall Street expectation was a dangerous shift from its engineer roots. Together, this research helps us use Boeing crisis not as one-off event, but the result of deeper flaws in leaders, culture, and system design. And my next slide is leadership and culture. At the core of failure was Boeing leadership under financial pressure. Leadership made decisions that put delivery deadline over aircraft integrity. Internal emails showed employees warning about safety, but Boeing ignored. Others expressed discomfort with misleading regulator, yet they did it anyway. As Keynes note, a company culture is shaped by what leader allow. Boeing created a system where engineers felt unsafe to speak up over time. That silence become part of the culture. And my next slide is supply chains breakdown. In this slide, I will talking about Boeing outsourced large section of the 73A Max production. While this lowered cost, it also created quality inconsistency and poor communication at the Charleston and event factories. The first one is workers reported missing parts, and the quality checks were skipped, and the new staff receiving uneven training. This led to supply side confusion where problems were catch earlier. Tang research shows the outsourcing without full integration lead to exactly the kind of risk. And my next slide will present Ahmed Hassan. Please join us.
Hi everyone, my name is Ahmed Hassan Said and I'm here for my presentation. So I will continue with the Swiss cheese model. So we are using Swiss cheese model to understand series of systematic failures led to the Boeing 737 MAX crashes. So if we look at Swiss cheese model, it is a powerful metaphor used in risk management. Think of each slice of cheese as a layer of defense, like design protocols, regulatory checks, and training program and company culture. Ideally, these layers stop mistakes from passing through. But just like Swiss cheese, each every layer has small holes and small weakness. And the disaster happens when these holes align, allowing a thread to pass through every barrier and completely unimpeded. In Boeing case, several key layers failed because number one is aircraft design. So if we talk about aircraft design, specifically the MCAS system relied on a single sensor with no backup. Number two is regulatory oversight. Regulatory oversight was weak, and the FFA delegated key safety checks to Boeing itself, creating a serious conflict of interest. At the organizational level, Boeing corporate office prioritized speed and cost saving over safety, and the pilots were not adequately trained, and many didn't even know the MCAS system. And finally, after the first crash, crisis response was delayed and dismissive, and allowing a second preventable crash to occur. So, the Swiss cheese model reminds us that accidents are not usually caused by one mistake, but by the multiple breakdowns across different level of organization. So, the next slide is data source and key findings. If we look at our, if we share our key findings, which are built on multiple sources, they are FAA and NTSB reports confirmed that MCAS and poor pilot train contributed to the crashes. Number two, internal Boeing email revealed that how leadership ignores safety concerns, and whistleblower account shows how engineers feared retaliation And financial reports of 2018 to 2024 highlighted the profit losses and shareholder dissatisfaction. Media coverage by Reuters and NYT gave public context. So this was not guesswork. It was clearly a documented failure at multiple levels. Root cause analysis. So the question here is now, was MCAS the root cause or it was just the trigger? So actually, the MCOS was just a trigger. The real problem were many of these. Number one is leadership chasing profits instead of safety. They were completely ignoring the safety measures which the aircraft need to be have. And number two was regulatory capture. Boeing had too much control over its own certifications and the fear-based culture. No one wanted to be the whistleblower, to be honest, at that time. And number four was weak supply control. Poor assembly practices were not caught in time. So these all factors lead to the the failure of the Boeing 737 Max. So these created a perfect storm where a single software flaw become a daily disaster. So now, if we talk about the shareholder impact, so definitely the shareholder impact shareholder lost a lot, and Boeing's stocks dropped over 50% between 2019 to 2021. Dividend for paused. The company faced legal battle as well. Meanwhile, competitors like Airbus, they took the advantage of the whole situation and slowed down to grab the market share. And today investors want reassurance not in just performance but in ethics, transparency, and long-term safety as well. So uh, this is all from my side. Now Gurvinder will continue. Thank you so much.
Hello everyone, my name is Gurvinder Kaur Saini and I would like to speak about the strategic options for Boeing. So, how does Boeing rebuild the trust that it lost because of this incident? So, we recommend to restructure leadership. By this means, they should appoint different executives with engineering and ethics background. The second is third party supplier audits. It should take audits on a regular basis to ensure the quality is very consistent worldwide. The third is internal whistleblower protections so that employees can raise the concerns early and accordingly. The fourth is transparent reporting so that they can share safety metrics and updates about it regularly and publicly. So these are the four steps that Boeing can retake to rebuild the trust that it lost because of the incident. And the next slide is about short and long term strategies. So in short term, Boeing should pause any unsafe productions line that are undergoing construction at the moment. Second is, second is it can retrain employees on critical safety systems. And the third is complete internal safety audits for the protection and the safety. And talking about long term recovery, it should use AI tools for real time quality assurance. The second is rebrand around the transparency and ethics. And the third is add independent board members for a stronger oversight. So, by taking the steps of short term and long term recoveries, Boeing can rebuild the trust. And it is not just about fixing one player or one side of the story, but it is about fixing the whole of the company's identity. And the third slide is about the summary of the findings. So, Boeing failed not only because of one mistake, but it was a combination of a leadership pressure, poor culture, and maybe misaligned priorities. So, it was a very huge loss, both on financial and reputational side, especially for the shareholders because the shareholders have invested a huge of capital for it. But and it was beyond repair. So, with bold reforms, Boeing can restore its place as a leader in aerosafety and aviation industry. The last slide is about conclusion and future research scope. So, what do we learn from Boeing incident? Not just as business students, but as future leaders. So, Boeing's story is not just a warning. Uh, it's also a saying that a great product isn't enough for the people behind it lose sight of ethics. But a future research should mainly focus on a better global aviation regulations. Second, how to embed ethics into engineering decisions. And the third is about how the companies recover brand trust after so many public failures. This was all about the research. Thank you.
Thank you very much, everyone.